Chapter 8 On the Trail of the White Hart. Jack Cornwood, in his early existence, was rather vague about what he wanted to do upon reaching his adulthood, and being aware of not having had enough opportunities as yet to see much of the world, he was satisfied that this uncertainty was quite reasonable. For a period of time, beginning from his birth and lasting for 5.5 years, he resolutely continued in this state of euphoric oblivion, without ever being reproached by the more mature persons for this irresponsible attitude. But then, who knows what profession would have gripped his fancy, and which occupational path he would have embarked upon in due time, if not for one event, an event which had influenced the whole course of his future life. It was a lovely day, one of those perfect days in the height of summertide, one of those heady, dreamy, halcyon days when it felt great just to be alive. It was the season when the rich earth abundantly bestowed her bounty, when the nights were brief and fair, and the starry triangle of Vega, Deneb, and Altair was still twinkling in the black velvet overhead. During the long hours of light, the sultry sunbeams streamed down from the azure skies, and the mellow zephyr was laden with the sweet scent of freshly mown hay. It was the time of the year when the nearly full-grown fledglings were fluttering in the green boughs, and sleepy were the golden fields before the harvesters moved in. To those who insist on knowing the precise date, it was the 7th of August. The date Jack had remembered ever since, for it was the exact midpoint between his 5th and 6th birthdays. And so it happened that on that day, at the very time of life when the mind, thirsty like a pristine sponge, yearns to absorb new discoveries, when every new experience has an aura of mystery about it, and each new object is a source of wonder, Jack was playing with his cousin Amy in one of the wheat fields belonging to their farm. He was gambolling and prancing around like a giddy springbok, when, on a crust of baked earth, he had stumbled upon something. Although he did not fall, he was slightly annoyed at this less-than-smooth conclusion to an otherwise most skillful pirouette. So, stepping back to find the offender who had prevented the graceful touchdown, he saw that it was a stone. There was nothing unusual about its colour or its size, for it was black and rather small, and yet it was unlike any stone he had seen before. Jack picked it up. It was shaped like a teardrop, pointy at one end and rounded at the other. He rubbed it with his finger. It had surfaces smooth like glass, but it was also ridged at the same time. What is it? Why is it just lying here? And, wondering so, he scrambled through a gap in the hedge and ran into the next field to ask his father. Tom said that it was a flint arrowhead, and he went into the farmhouse kitchen, where from the top shelf of the dresser he retrieved an old biscuit tin. Once he was outside again, they all sat down on the grassy bank, and out of that tin box Tom withdrew a few strange-shaped stones, which he said he had acquired throughout the years of tilling the soil. Then Jack's mother, Emily, joined them with a tray of snacks, and over a glass of homemade lemonade, Tom told the children that a while back, during the local archaeological digs, evidence had been unearthed claiming that towards the end of the last ice age their region had become inhabited by ancient peoples. They prized flint so greatly for its hardness that although absent in that area, they brought it from a place about 40 miles away, and by flint knapping, a process of chipping away at the rock, fashioned different tools and weapons out of it. As time went by, different tribes had settled there and left their mark, the vestiges of which were still present in the landscape in the form of stone circles, hut remnants, mounds, and earthworks. That day, Tom, who was always glad of an excuse to plunge into one of his favourite subjects, did not return to his field work, but encouraged by the children's attention to his portrayal of life the way it was long ago, he continued well into the evening. And so vividly were those images brought before Jack's imagination that as he picked up and studied those curious stone pieces, he was immersed into their magic and transported to the ages before the machine, when everybody lived close to the land, And that was it. The boy was bitten by the history bug. That very day, he had also learnt that hemp farming was a tradition in that area. Jack was decided. When he grows up, he will grow hemp.